on with the Divine Masculine reading for upcoming week. A lot going on, of course. There's always something going on. And it has to do with Mars, Venus, the Sun, and Mercurius are in alignment at the moment. We're closing off an 18-year-old cycle. So go back 18 years ago, and maybe it's already playing out in your life that you say, wow, I recognize this. This was also 18 years ago. What can I do about it? So you need to go back to the 18 years ago. What was going on in your life then? And what synchronized with it now? So you can see the pattern and make a different decision. So yeah, that's what I see. I have an incoming phone call. So yeah, and you can shift that energy, because when I was in meditation, I heard Divine Masculine needs to clear out the karma before he can move on, because there is something that still needs to be addressed, and it has the same thing as 18 years ago. So it could be that you're stuck, it could be that you repeating the same pattern again and again and again. I also have the feeling it has to do with taking accountability for what happened in the past. That's repeating itself now. And if you are not able to look at your own, your own mistakes, your own I'm not going to say that word. They say yes, you do. They have to look to their incompetent ability, that they're not comfortable, that they're not able to do something that they needed to do. So that has to do with that 18-year circle that is coming around. And when he doesn't clear that karma, and keeping and repeating and repeating and repeating the same patterns, then I have to give an example, they say. For instance, if you always go in the victimhood and blame somebody else for what's happening in your life, you're hitting the board miss. You really miss the goal totally, because we're in a space of love and harmony in the 5th dimensional realm. And when we're going up to that 5th dimensional realm, we don't, there's no judgment, there's no blame, there's no there is accountability, because the universe will hold you accountable and responsible for everything that you do. And if you don't, as a Divine Masculine, or as a masculine, take responsibility for that same thing that happens again in your life, then it will repeat and repeat and repeat wherever you go. If it's on the work floor, if it's in a relationship, if it's in connection with friends, if it's there are some points that needs to be healed, not just physical but also mental. It's almost like a mental disability that's going on with the Divine Masculine that he don't want to look at. And it's almost like, no, I'm not going there, I don't want to see it, it's not up to me, So that will hold you back, that will hold your prosperity, it will, and I also see some masculines are in a very dark cave at the moment, and they're keeping up the appearances. They're keeping up the appearances of being joyful, happy, but they're in a really not happy space. So it's fake. It's not in alignment. It doesn't resonate. And if you don't come out with your karma and your truth, you will get mental health issues. So yeah, wow, this is very, very, this channeling is really intense. I also feel it in my head, you know, because the body can't cope, so the mind is taking over. And when the mind is taking over, it's going in the ego, you know, in that control state, in the state of not being able to listen to anyone else who has a different opinion. Well, that's going on at the moment, and it's getting worse because even out of that at that gloomy time, let's call it gloomy. Yeah. And it's almost like an underlay. What I feel, it's almost like an underlaying depression. It could be that there are emotional outbursts, you know, because the mind can't cope. Here, in his mind space, exactly what I'm, well, you know, thank you guys up there. Trapped in fear, trapped in lack, trapped in my body can't cope, my mind don't cope, I don't know what to do, I can't turn around or I'm stuck. And it's here, it's number 8, it's a continuously loop he is taking. You know, it's a sign of infinity. And the infinity is going like this, the 8 is going upside down. So it means if you don't take measures and you don't acknowledge, and you know, and the Divine Masculine knows the truth in his heart space, but for the outside world, he just wants to know something different. So that's why they say keeping up appearances. You know, but you can't keep up appearances towards your family, towards your beloveds, towards the people that you love, and they will see it. I'm getting a little bit warm here because of the channeling. So yeah, it's about not repeating the same patterns. So, and the Divine Feminine, well, it's a Divine Masculine reading, but I hear the Divine Feminine needs to make choices for herself, and see you. Okay, because what I see, the Divine Feminine is helping, assisting, giving energy, giving love. And it's going in a drain because it's going in here, out there. So the best remedy for this is let him go in his cave, let him sit and wait till he finds his own way out. In his heart space, he wants to have this firm foundation, this strength to overcome everything. But it's not in alignment, it's resonating, it's not resonating. he wants to be that firm, you know, that firm, stand my ground, and that is creating the fear in his body, the anxiety, because he knows it's not in alignment with his head. You know, it's like a mountain, you know, not able to move because of his, could be that he's a fixed sign, could be that he's very critical at the moment, because there are all kinds of energies that are attacking him now, or under attack. It's not really an attack, it's the universe saying you have to deal with your shit, you have to deal with your emotions, you have to do the work. You know, if you don't do the work, you know, you're spiritual bypassing. And when you spiritual bypass, you're going in your ego. Okay? So in his heart space, he wants to be that mountain, he wants to be strong, he wants to be, but in his head, there's all fear going on. So there is no foundation to be in that strength energy. So what is his higher self saying? Wow. Emotional withdrawal. You need to withdraw yourself. You need to look at your emotions. You need to take time for yourself, because what I see, you're strong, that emotional fear that is really affecting your health. You know, it's affecting your mental health, it's affecting your physical health, and that you need to withdraw yourself, you know, and find out step by step, why is this repeating itself time and time again, the same patterns, same things, you know. Don't know to make choices anymore on his own. And when he makes a choice, he makes mistakes. Wow. So he needs to, what I hear, he needs to clean up his karma. If he doesn't clean up his karma, he will stay in that state of fear and control, and not able to move on. It's so weird to feel this energy. It's so weird to feel this energy, because I feel like I'm so small inside, but to the outside world, I'm happy, I'm blah, 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 going out of myself, That's what I hear. He's not himself. He's going out of himself to pretend. So how does he seize the divine feminine? In her power. She has the strength. She knows how to hold the energy. And it's almost like he is competing inside with the divine feminine. Because divine feminine is very powerful. Oh, interesting. Let me see. Why would he be jealous on his divine feminine? Because if you are caring about your divine feminine, you know, you give her all. You know, you support her, because you're one together, and you're supporting each other, and you be loving towards each other. And if you're going to diminish your divine feminine and you belittle her, you know, then you're in a totally state of separation already. Then it's not love, then it's just convenience, you know, convenience for her to be around. So don't, yeah, and that's the power of the divine feminine. And she takes no shit. And that's because she takes no shit, you know, she's pushing him more and more and more in that energy of fear. In, oh my gosh, I have the 3 8s here. This is incredible. Look at this. So this is the fear, the trap where you're in the deep state, in your inner being, in your subconscious mind, and in your mind space. You know that you are there, you know, and you need emotional withdrawal to find out for yourself what is synchronizing with 18 years ago. And if you don't do it, you know, you won't reach your power. But if you do withdrawal and you go within and you clear up your trauma and you clear up your work, then you will find your own inner power. Your inner power isn't coming from your ego space. Your inner power is coming from your heart space, is coming from within, is coming from love. And the only power he gets is from his divine feminine, because she gives him that power, she gives him that love, she gives him that validation that he needs. Without her, she is nothing. He is nothing without her. So she gives him that feeling of authority. Okay. Yeah, shadow work. What is his block? What is his uncomfortability? Looking at his own shadow. Going back, going back, going back. And if you see, I don't know in which age you are, and it's also an 18, you know, so it's a 444, 888. 888 and 18 is also a sign of transformation, because it's 8 and 1 is 9, so you're going through a huge transformation and you need to look at your shadow. So what happened? And it means in which age you are. You know, you go 18 years ago, and then if you find that pattern in that 18 years ago, you go back another 18 years ago, and you will see that the same pattern is repeating from that time till now. And go back then another 18 years till your child. Till you are at your childhood, and then you see where you need to start, and from your childhood you go up, you know, and you do your shadow work, and you do the work to get rid of your trauma. Because I have to deal here with divine masculine collective that is really ignoring its shadow, and the shadow, what is happening now all around us, you know, is coming to the surface. Could be that there is something coming in about abuse, about mental or physical abuse, you know, and that is repeating itself again. So Yeah, that's all I can say about it, I hear. So you need to look at that shadow and you need to heal that inner child. And then if you did that work and if you felt it and you went through it, then go up 18 years. Dissolve that trauma there. And then go up another 18 years and dissolve that trauma there. So you're able to do 3 really big releases before the Lion's Gate. And after the Lion's Gate, you know, you're going in a total different energy, and this energy won't return. So that's what he's very uncomfortable with, not be able to look in his own shadow, not to look in his mirror of who he really is from the inside, that there is insecurity, that there is this inner boy that has no faith, that he needs someone else, and always try to, the need to blame someone else and being in that victimhood. And it can also be, you know, blocking your whole abundance, because you think you did your work by reading, by other things, but you didn't even touch the surface. Don't even touch the surface. I don't say that every masculine is like this, but I feel the majority of the matrix energy is really there to wake the divine masculine up, because the divine feminine is moving forward, you know. And you're still looking at yourself in the mirror and seeing that shadow, you know. And actually, what I hear, you see the real you in the mirror. You see that shadow, you see the real you in the mirror. You're not that big, outgoing, fantastic, over-the-top man, you know, that everybody adores or wants to be adored. That's more of it, that wants to be adored. If you're not able to be on your own, if you're not able to work on your own, and you constantly need validation from the outside, and you constantly need validation how great you are, you know, forget it. You didn't do your shadow work. So I hear it's all about the money. Oh, it's all about work, it's all about money. So still in that mindset of lack. And you know, in that mindset that you're in, you're not attracting anything, because your mind is too tired. It's so easy. So it's, why are you afraid to look your shadow in the eye? Because when we dive in the cauldron, you know, winter time that's coming up, you know, we're in July, but I already see the winter time coming and the energies of the winter time. If you don't clear up your emotions now, you know, you will have a hard winter. Is that second 18, or is it, let me see. So, how does he seize the divine feminine? In her fertility, in her strength, in her as the empress, creating in her heart space. It's heart over mind. She is not judging everyone. She's not, she needs to be careful though, to get in that same pattern as the divine masculine that he's always in his mind. But she is coming from the heart space. She's coming from the heart, and the empress, that's really interesting, because the empress take no shit. You know, you're in or you're out, and your action and your behavior towards the divine feminine decides how close you will get to her. You know, and if your actions are from a nasty kind, you know, she just cuts you off, and she is just reaching out her branches, following her own path, without divine masculine, because she has a path to walk that is not the same as the divine masculines. So, and she knows that her path is, you know, and she's true to that path. She's true to that path. So no matter if there is anything around her that wants to disturb her, that's not possible, because she stays in her heart space. Beautiful. Yeah, really beautiful. And that's how he sees her. She is his empress, you know, but also doing her own thing, her own path. Powerful, powerful woman. And that's why the jealousy came in, because she keeps herself grounded. She keeps herself strong, because she has that inner power. She worked on her things. So when that inner power is there, you know, you can't wobble or get her off track or make her wobbly. No way, Jose. So she stays in that heart space, and knowing, you know, this is my path, this is my focus, this is where I go, and whatever you do, what you need to do, but don't involve me in it. So really, really strong. Well, and that's sometimes the fight of the divine masculine, you know, to having a strong feminine next to him, because he could feel very small next to her. What is the higher self saying from the divine feminine? That there is a mental conflict. There's a mental conflict, and she sees it. Mental conflict with himself, mental conflict with maybe other people, doubting himself, doubting his mental abilities. Yeah, and that's the same. That's what the higher self says from the divine feminine. You know, you look, you're in that space. Go and do the work, because if you don't, it will only get, you know, get worse. Okay. I hear for the divine feminine, if the divine masculine is treating other women like shit, know that you're the next one in line. Wow. Know that you're the next one in line. Because if he has disrespect for other women, he certainly will disrespect you. And maybe not in the beginning, but after 2 years, when you come back in your own energy and the pink clouds are gone, you know, then you will see what's going to happen. And then the mental conflicts are there, you know, because you're butting heads together. You're going to fight each other. He's trying to, because he wants to be in power and in control, he wants to push you down. If that's the case, run. You know, if you see that, run. Don't think, oh, it won't happen to me, you know. Just feel in the energy of the universe and you know. Because you already know. You already saw the signs. And that's why the mental conflict is coming in. Wow. This is a reading that goes totally another direction than I expected. So how does he see the relationship? How does the masculine sees the relationship? Because I can't call this a divine masculine reading. This is just a masculine energy that is still connected to the matrix. There's nothing 5D in here in this whole reading. So if it resonates with you, divine masculine, be honest to yourself and take accountability for your shadow work. So how does the masculine sees the relationship with the divine feminine? In union. Solitude. He wants to be alone. It could be that he wants to be alone. He wants to be on his own. He's going through a transformation. The mental conflict could be that he was too much around other people and he needs to withdraw and have more time for himself and be in solitude. You know, read. I want to take time on my own. You know, everything is overwhelming. You know, I'm not in that good space. Yeah, and if you have that feeling of you want to be alone, masculine, you know, do it and address your shadow. You know, look at it and maybe you can dissolve it in a poem, in writing, in how do you call it? Maybe music. Go for a walk. You know, it's yeah, I still hear, don't spiritual bypass it. You know, just don't do everything in the mind. Don't do everything with your mind. Because when you do everything with your mind, you're spiritual bypassing. That's it. You know, that's no spirituality. That's no connection. That's not in alignment with your soul. If your soul hurts, you need to work with that soul. You need to work to make that soul whole, you know? And that soul isn't whole because it all has fragments from former lifetimes, from former incarnations, you know, from your youth. You know, if you did the work in your youth, go back to your former lifetimes. Go into regression, you know, and see where the patterns are coming from. It's a whole new chapter in a book. You know, it's sometimes it's the next thing in the next layer, you know, on the next level. It's not the same thing. It's repeating itself. It's coming back on the next level. And that's why if you want to maintain that level, you want to go higher in that level, you need to address this. Wow. Well, my EMDR is ready for you guys. My EMDR is ready. EMDR is a trauma response. And why? You haven't spoken the truth. And that's it. That's all of it. You haven't spoken the truth. Because you can say everything to the outside, but from the within, you know. And you want to make it men's and to balancing it out. So it will fade away. Guess what? The universe has truth and knows the truth. And that's what I hear because of the mental distortion and not processing things in the right way. He's not able to see that. Wow. So really, really beautiful, really amazing. So you need to stare, you know, talk to your own shadow and talk about the truth, who you really are. Because you can't keep up appearances because Divine Feminine feels it, sees it, smells it, you know. One glance at you and she knows exactly where you are. So, yeah. This is a time for a new beginning for you, the masculine. You know, to, if you want the prosperity in your life, then, and prosperity, obtain the prosperity in your life, then you need to plant healthy seeds, you know. And healthy seeds are not based on lies, of deception, on betrayal, of conspiracy, or victimhood. You know, we have a lot more emotions, but, you know, if you want to receive the fruits of your labor, then and yeah, change is needed. Change is needed. Otherwise, you keep on fucking up. Sorry for the word, but that's what I hear. Otherwise, you keep fucking everything up. And not only at your workspace, but with your relations, with your income, with your women, with your houses, everything. And there is hope, you know. There is hope. But not on hope only you can thrive. You know, you need to do the work. Okay, let's see. which god or titan is supporting the masculine this week. Green man. Well, if you are looking for abundance and you're looking to walk the path of the green man, you walk the path of nature, you walk the path of goddess, and you honor it in every fiber of your being, and you address your shadow work, and you dive in that deep, in the deep, and you be in solitude, and you take time for yourself to work through everything, and take that 18-year cycle in consideration, then your abundance will come afterwards. You need to have that hope that the abundance will come after that, because that's how the universe works. Because the universe will stop everything for you, give huge challenges on your path, and you have to surrender. And if you don't surrender and you keep on fighting, you're getting the same as you always had. So I would say, you know, walk the path of the green man, go within, make the shadow work, do the shadow work. You know, I know a lot of men are coaches, are incredible, strong in their mind, but don't spiritual bypass it, because I see the things and Divine Feminine sees the things that is needed to be done. And as soon as if you're not able to address those things for yourself, you know, the relationships are a thin thread, you know, and it's easy to be broken. So if you want a strong connection, you need to do the work. You know, you need to do the work, not just here, in your body. You know, go back to those things that comes up when you're alone in solitude and you feel that pain within your body. You know, release it, look at it, and work with it. And if it's not possible for you to do it on your own, you know, I can help you with EMDR. So, okay, this is it for this week. Sorry, not a really happy one. Most of the time, the divine masculine is upbeat, is really happy, but this is not coming out of these cards. So there's still transformation going on, and I hope he will address it for himself. For if he is in a twin flame relationship, or if he's in a relationship, I hope he does it not only for himself, but also for his partner, because they deserve it and they have to keep up with it. Okay? All the love and all the blessings. Bye-bye.